When the clams were ready, we all headed back to the beach house to sit down for dinner. Margarita served those beach-baked chocolate clams with several different sauces.
Okay, this is mustard. The other one is chipotle. The other one is 10 chile mayonnaise. And that is with the fresh tomatoes that we got from Enrique's Farms.
Ah, cool. I love these clams.
Why did you choose this destination, Los Cabos?
We chose for this series all of Baja Peninsula because it's amazing. And hardly anybody knows all the treasures that are here. You know, it's just astonishing. What you guys are doing in the food community here is so beautiful. What the guys up north are doing in the food community is just amazing. The products that you have to work with are some of the best products in the world. And it's so remarkable what you have here, and people don't know that it's here. So they could come to Cabo and have their beach vacation or whatever and never understand all the richness that is here. So that's what we're trying to do in these shows, is to show them that, yeah, you can come and have your beach vacation, but if you find your restaurants, if you go to the farm and have a cooking class, if you go to some of the local small places where you can really taste the local food, it's just, it's amazing. And I really want people to have a full, rich experience when they come here and really understand what it is. It's not about just going to a resort hotel and staying there and eating, you know, just international food or whatever. It's about eating, it's really getting into the culture a little bit. So
food is the most vivid expression.
it's the most vivid expression
of the culture.
Yes, yes.
You're right.
I'd say that, you know, if you sit down and have a meal with somebody and then from another country, you know them in a very intimate way. Maybe you don't know words. You can't say, oh, this about their culture or that, but you understand them as sort of a heart-to-heart way, which I think is the most amazing part of food. Because you touch somebody's soul when you give them some food.
Yes.
And to me, that's what it is to be a chef, is that you're touching soul after soul after soul. And if you put your heart into the food, if you put your heart into the ingredients that you use in the food, that's really what it's all about.
It's the most, I think it's like the most noble way of giving somebody happiness for a small period of time.
And
I
show
love that.
them
I'm going to
care.
quote you on that.
Yeah?
I think
Show
I
them
love
care.
it because it's the most noble way of giving them happiness. Because it's not something that they forget about very quickly.
Exactly.
But when they have another experience with that flavor, or they have another experience with that an aroma of something, and right away they're right back to that experience that you gave them. Because food is so evocative; it just takes you to a place. I mean, it's like we've all had that experience of like tasting something and it reminds you of your mother or your grandmother or whatever, and all of a sudden all the emotions come out because it's taking you right back to that place, and that food can do that better than anything else.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
And this dish is probably the only one that I know that has been prepared the way they prepared it before the Spaniards came to Baja.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know all over Mexico, they have the way of cooking in pits and cooking, you know, sort of heating up the ground and cooking in that. All from here with the almejas up here to all the way to Cochinita Pibil out in
to Yucatan.
All that. It's all the same kind of idea of cooking, and to me, having the experience of going back and cooking the way that ancestors, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years cook. There's something about tying yourself to your past when you do that. And again, you understand things in a very different way once you've done that. It's you open, I love that kind of cooking so much that in my backyard in Chicago, I have a pit. So I can cook in the pit, because I like to do, you know, whole goats and whole suckling pigs and all that. So I love to do it. But I tell you, when you open it up and the smell comes up, no one ever leaves there the same. Because they will always remember that smell that comes up out of the pit like that. It's really remarkable to me. Because it's a combination of smoke, meat, And then also the earth. It's all right there.
And the time it took to cook slowly.
The time, it's all right there. And then, and most of the time, you know, it's got some kind of herb-like thing, whether it's banana leaves or avocado leaves or maguey or something like that. It's all there, and it's just like all that comes up and it greets you, and it's damp. And it's aromatic, and it's just so beautiful.
I think it's a very primal thing that is awakened in all of us.
Yes.
When things that come from the earth or cooked with these ingredients that evoke this just huge punch of feeling.
Absolutely.
You know, that sometimes no matter how well we try to prepare a chamorro de cerdo or something like that we add all kinds of stuff to it, and we do all kinds of stuff to it. But then when you get something as simple as just a little salt, but it's cooked underground.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh my God, how do I? What am I doing wrong?
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
This is so
right,
good.
right.
But I think it's something very primal about that too.
Right.
And in Mexico, I think it's something that happens to all of us when we go to Pachuca Hidalgo for the barbacoa, or
It's
even the pescado a la talla.
A la
they do
talla,
the
or
coconut
tiquín
husks.
chic out in
Or
the
tiquín
Yucatan.
chic,
It's done over the wood fire with
Yeah.
the banana leaves and achote.
Zarandeado.
Zarandeado.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Fabulous.
But as long as we take whatever it takes, time, effort, and quality of products to make the good food that our ancestors have made, always,
Right.
always, and offer it with our hearts.
Yeah.
With love. And you know, cooking is a way of saying I love you. Cooking for you, for your family. It's like a everyday love expression.
It completely is. I couldn't agree with you more that it's one of the way that you can communicate to people that you care.
Yes.
And when you said if we take the time, to me that's the most. You know, everybody's so busy, and you know, in the restaurant you're so we got to get the food out, you know, and all that sort of stuff and all that. But if you can figure out how to take the time to do it right,
And
to
enjoying
get
to do it.
well, of course, I don't have any trouble with that.
You know something? People remember memorable meals 40 years later.
Yes, that's
They
it.
remember.
absolutely
You know
do.
that one time we went to Cabo on the beach 40 years ago? Do you remember those clams? Do you remember that ceviche? That never goes away.
It never goes away. This is the cabrilla, cooked on the grill, and there's 3 different kinds of eggplants, and they all have different textures, and they all have different flavors, and they're amazing. It was really incredible to work with them because, just like you said, one was soft and one was crunchy, and they were all different. So there's all different kinds of tastes and textures of those in there. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a permission for you to do this dish in my restaurant,
Oh, I would
and
love
I
that.
will do it in your name.
I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna write the recipe and I'll
Okay,
send it to you.
Okay, that will be very nice.
I'm not gonna ask, man. I'm just putting it up. Man, this is really cool. I mean, it's so
we're gonna
good.
have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have never, I mean, really, put it together with chiles like this or an adobo like this with the almonds though.
It
Well,
proves,
actually, the
it
almonds are
proves
really-
to you
they
that chiles
kinda
goes
give you
with
another
everything.
flavor, yeah.
Chiles go with everything. The ice cream is made with requesón. Rick told me that in English you say ricotta.
Well, it's really delicious. To me, what makes it work is the lime zest and orange zest that's in there. Because then it makes it taste like it's a dessert. Even though it's got sugar in it, when you put the orange and the lime in there, then suddenly it's like really a desserty kind of thing. Yeah. And you know, where I live, in the Midwest of the United States, there's ground cherries, which are very closely related to tomatillo. But they always pick them very ripe and sweet. They have the husk and everything, but they're only this big. And they're very aromatic, and they're cooked like this all the time. And it's sort of, I always think of the little ground cherries as the US equivalent of the tomatillo, but they're sweeter. And they work in this kind of a tart really well. So when I saw this, I thought,
It's a sweet
It's like
cousin of the
it's a
tortilla.
sweet cousin of the tomatillo. It's beautiful. It's beautiful because we're all eating and eating and eating.
I'm
This
very
is the
glad
most.
you like
This is
it.
the most silent. Everybody's
When Rick told me we will go to the farm and get something there and make a dessert, and I knew, because I know very well, Enrique grows only herbs and tomatoes and aubergines and
You didn't.
And
you didn't-
chiles.
well, she could have done a chili dessert.
no. I was thinking of an aubergine dessert
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was gonna laugh and
Yeah,
say,
no,
"Oh,
no.
why didn't you do that?"
because I make aubergine ice cream, but I
You do?
yes, and you would be
Okay,
surprised.
I'm just gonna say right now that I want to come back and eat that.
Okay.
Okay, guys, you've turned me on to tomatillo in a dessert. So
Dessert.
now I'm gonna go for the eggplant
Trust
dessert.
me. And I thought, no, eggplants are not Mexican, so I will go for tomatillo and make it a nice dessert.
Very nice and different.
And also, I think we were talking earlier on about how Mexican chefs in America and women chefs. I think the most, the distinctive about men and women is that, like with the tortillas that you taste when a woman does it. I mean, there's just something about that nurturing aspect that comes, that they own, that magic that only women have. You know what I mean? I think we feel it. I feel it here. You know what I mean? It's that just natural thing. Exactly. That nurturing love that a woman has that comes through like this. You know.
Very happy you like it.
I think it's really, 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 really beautiful. And with the
Thank
wine
you.
pairing,
With the
of
wine
course,
pairing. The
No,
wine
the
pairing
wine-
is
Crazy.
it's out of sight. It's just
really out of sight, man. Angel, you're the man, man.
Yeah.
Salud, mi amor, que Dios te conserve la nariz.
Sí, sí, sí. Sí, 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 sí.
The people who live in Baja, we fight every day, to convince people that come to Cabo, don't have a burger, have a taco, have Mexican food.
No, nobody ever talk about the beautiful resources that we have here, like organic farming, which is a pioneer in all Latin America. All the great seafood that is here. I mean, it's,
And the most important, the kind people.
Oh my God,
The
yes.
kind people from this area.
North to south. It's just like the people are so incredibly open and generous and lovely. Here's to all of you. Margarita, muchas gracias. Gracias a todos. Corazón.